Few people consider the person sitting in the control booth unless the Jumbotron makes their mistakes obvious. Not many ponder the person who laid out the roads in a subdivision unless cars are crashing into each other due to poor traffic patterns. We seldom think about the pilot unless the landing is rough. In fact, many jobs only become noticeable when they don't function as they should. So although it may seem like anyone could design the layout of a software interface or a website, it is actually a complicated process, and one we typically only pay attention to when it is poorly designed. Often, the better designed something is, the less we think about who made it that way. When developing an application that will be used by a wide variety of people with different backgrounds, ages, and experiences, it can be difficult to design something that will be equally accessible to all of them. If you've ever told a joke only to have someone else go, huh? You can understand what I mean. People think differently, and what seems natural to one seems strange to another. As changing a program design involves more than putting new nails into a wall or switching out curtains to a different color, it is important that the design is carefully thought through before the actual programming begins. This is where wireframes are useful. A website or application wireframe is essentially a rough sketch that allows designers, users, and the application owners to collaborate and discuss ideas. What might seem intuitive to a website designer is not always going to translate well when a user interacts with the website. Typically, no color is included in the wireframing stage, and there are 3 levels: low fidelity, mid fidelity, and high fidelity. As you can probably guess, low fidelity is the lowest quality of design possible. Think a rough sketch of shapes on a piece of paper. A photo might be represented by a hastily drawn rectangle. Mid-fidelity contains more detail but is still pretty rough. It may or may not contain actual text, but the layout of the design might be more detailed, such as the size of photos or the relation of buttons to each other. High fidelity contains far more detail. The photo represented by a mere shape in the low-fidelity draft might now be the actual photo itself. Text that was lorem ipsum or scribbles is now actual content that will appear on the completed web page. Although there are debates on the usefulness of wireframes, their power should not be underestimated. Think of it like using a storyboard while creating a movie. Studios often mock up drawings to show how they might tell the story. As ideas are discussed and discarded, they are able to create an outline of shots they will need. This also enables them to find the flow of the plot and visualize how the story that currently lives on script pages will translate onto a screen. Once filming begins, the film crew is able to save time and money by not filming scenes that will end up on the cutting room floor. Many times you will hear of alternate versions of popular movies. You won't see the actual scene since the production never got that far. Instead, you will often see rough sketch mock-ups of particular events. The storyboard enabled people to see that a scene or plotline wouldn't work before they went to the trouble of filming or animating it. Although humans are often unable to narrow in on and identify what is bothering them about a particular project, we do respond emotionally. When asked if we liked a movie, book, or website, our response might be as simple as no. Although we are not able to point to the specific aspect that bothered us, our emotional response wasn't a positive one. This fly in the ointment, as it were, could be as simple as oversaturated color, poorly chosen music, or complicated navigation between pages. By creating wireframes, responses to layouts and design can be gauged and incorporated into new and better designs. By refining the design in the preliminary stages, one can create a better product. Consider these 2 versions of the same scene. One draws you into the story and makes you feel the emotion of the moment, while the other disconnects the viewer from what is on screen. Everything from the angle to the music communicates something to the viewer. Just like everything from the font to the font size to the location of buttons can evoke a response from a user. If a studio receives feedback in the script or storyboard stage, a lot of time, money, and aggravation can be eliminated. The earlier feedback is received, the less unnecessary work is involved in the project, and the more money can be saved. It's the same in software development. When a client approaches Swan to develop a piece of software, there are discussions of what will need to appear on either the website or mobile application. Low-fidelity wireframes might be created and presented to the client. These could be drawn on a piece of paper or made in an online wireframe creator program. The immediate feedback on the 2-minute design will allow the developer to create a better blueprint without using more than another few minutes of time. Once the low-fidelity sketch is confirmed, a mid-fidelity or high-fidelity sketch might be produced. Wireframe maps are also frequently made. This enables people to see how the pages will not only be laid out on their own, but also how the pages will interact with and connect to each other. This may all seem like a waste of time, unless one considers the cost of going forward with something without any feedback. Like I said before, one human's intuition is another human's, say what? Frameworks lack the ability to include some elements, but they do enable feedback to be collected in a short amount of time. Much as the wrong music or wrong angle can ruin a scene in a movie, the wrong font or font size can ruin a website or application design. Consider the two following layouts. One draws your eye to the unsubscribe, and the other draws your eye to the cake and to the order button. Many times these design flaws will be discovered in the wireframe stage so that the issues can be addressed long before the web page or application is programmed. The more feedback received along the way, the less alterations necessary to the completed application. Since there is a difference between a website and mobile interface, there must also be a difference in the wireframes. For instance, a mobile has a much narrower screen width, and the wireframe must be created to accommodate this size of screen. The way people interact with apps on their phone versus web pages is also different. Wireframing allows these considerations to be evaluated and accommodated to ensure that the final product is intuitive, easy to use, and well designed, whether one is interacting with it on a computer or a mobile device. When a person approaches Swan Software Solutions, they will go through a process called discovery. This process allows the client and the company to exchange ideas and clarify the parameters of the project. Often, wireframes will make an appearance in order to more accurately represent the project requirements. Special developers called UI/UX designers are then responsible for designing the user interface and creating a good user experience. As with many things, you only really notice their work if they mess up. But by providing wireframes or feedback on the wireframes they create, their job will be easier and the results better. And better results lead to better relations with customers and clients. If you'd like to discover more about how Swan Software Solutions can create a custom application for you, contact us. We offer a free discovery process and a team to help ensure your application is high quality, functioning, and meets all your needs. From a wireframe to a website, from a sketch on a napkin to a custom software solution, our goal is to help you succeed. Visit swansoftwaresolutions.com to find out more or request a free discovery call.